Hexagonelle. This interview may have a couple of extra sentences and giggles. Meowdy folks. The spotlight for this month is Hexagonelle, who uses they pronouns over she pronouns. There's no content warnings for this episode. It's pretty wholesome. For land acknowledgement, Hexagonelle, you said that you're not comfortable disclosing, which is super fair. But we do want our listeners to know that in private spaces where the location is already known, that we are definitely engaging in land acknowledgements.
Yes, yes.
Yay. It's important to us. We just
Yeah.
also don't dox yourself for safety. um, Hexagonelle, can you share about your signs, your astrology stuff?
Yeah. So my sun sign is in the traditional astrological convention, Pisces. Moon sign is Aries. Rising is Aries, so mainly water, but a little flavorful dash of fire in there. Um, but one fun thing that I learned many years ago is that if you think of the Earth as a spinning top, it wobbles as it spins. And so, from little Earthling's perspective, the stars shift over time. And so, the like position of the stars doesn't actually match up with me being a Pisces. I think it matches up with me being an Aquarius, if I remember right.
That's cool. And that's the position of the stars now, or the position
Yes,
of the stars when
yes.
you were born?
Or when I was born, yeah, because it does take like thousands of years to happen, but astrology is
Yeah.
thousands of years old. So
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I love that. That's so fun. Elle, how do you identify?
I am non-binary, transfem. I am on the asexual and aromantic spectra. I am polyamorous and I am Mexican American.
And Elle, what are some of your special interests, hobbies, or a favorite fandom?
Oh my gosh, I love science so much.
Science.
I love science. I love math. I like learning about, I like learning about lots of different things. I'm not very good at languages, but I love picking up random facts about different languages or little bits of vocabulary. I like learning the history of like technology and how different things developed over time. But my main my main jam is uh the mathematical and scientifical stuffs. And I
Ooh,
also really, really love music. I've been playing violin for over 26 years.
that's amazing. If I had consistently played guitar, then I would have been playing for maybe 20 years by now,
Mm,
but I
wow.
was not consistent. Um, I want to add for our listeners that Hexagonelle does math and science in very impressive ways on their Twitch stream. So if ever you are looking for some really great content that is also mathy and or sciencey and sometimes Minecrafty, please do check out Hexagonelle's Twitch channel. And I'll spell that out for you all when we get to the end. Um, Elle, how did you find the Clowder? And do you want to tell us about your origin story with the community?
Yeah, I I really like this story. So I had a friend whose partner at the time was a Twitch streamer. And so I started watching that partner's streams and like sort of getting into things. And then my friend said, "Oh, hey, there's like a whole queer community on Twitch," and pointed me to a couple of queer streamers. And I started watching and interacting with their communities. I got to be good friends with one of those queer streamers. And that streamer had a Trans Day of Visibility stream and said, "Hey, you should come on and we'll like talk about queer stuff." And wouldn't you know it, Meowster was also invited to come on and talk about queer stuff. And that's how we met.
That was so cool. I remember that. because I hadn't been contacted ahead of time, but I was so
Oh,
like knowledgeable in chat that the streamer was like, "Hey, do you want to come on stage?" And I was like, "Sure."
that's
I tried to
awesome.
play it cool. Yeah. I think if I remember, there wasn't a ton of non-binary representation on stream, and that's part of why the invitation was made.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this was years ago. This was 3 or 4 years ago now, I think. That's wild.
Hmm.
Um, and so at this point, Hexagonelle, what do you contribute to the Clowder?
Um, so in principle, I am a Twitch mod, Discord mod, and I also help out with like kind of the technical side of Discord, doing stuff behind the scenes with the bots and all that. Um, my living situation recently changed, so I'm like slowly coming back into being a more active contributor, but those are the roles I occupy.
Yeah, and that's one of the beautiful things about the Clowder is we try to build redundancy into the team so that when people life happens and people need time away or for surgery or for moving or just life things, we actually have the capacity to do that without it being catastrophic. And so, like, you being trained up as Twitch and Discord mod is and someone who can handle bots means that when people who do those roles also, when they need time away, you know, you have the chance to step in and help cover that too, which is really great. So, for anyone listening, during the week of this recording, which may be different from the week of publishing, we're actually in the middle of our onboarding phase for a new, maybe I'll call them a clutch of Clowder contributors. We have 20 to 25 people on the team right now, and we are onboarding up to 10 people this time. So we may see a bit about, if my math is right, a 50% increase in our staff in the next 2 weeks, which is amazing and also means there's hopefully going to be more of these cool contributor interviews for folks to enjoy. Um, yeah, it's wonderful. Hexagonal, what do you love about the Clowder? Why is the community and its content important to you?
Um, well, so from like a personal perspective, like my own experience, I mean, you were just saying really that there wasn't a lot of non-binary representation on the stream where we first met. And when I met you, you were like, "Oh, hey, I'm non-binary, I'm transitioning." And I was like, or by transitioning, I mean medically transitioning. And I was like, "Hang on, wait a minute. You can do that?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, of course. Why wouldn't you be able to do that?" And it got me thinking about, I've like, I don't want to say figured out my gender identity because gender is so fluid and can change and evolve over time. But I had gotten into a comfortable spot with my gender identity, but then I realized like, hey, wait a minute, I got this old meat suit I'm wearing. I could customize that. And that started me on my own medical transition journey. And then like in a broader sense, the lesson learned from my little personal anecdote is that representation is super, super important. Because again, it was just one of those things that didn't occur to me until I had an example in front of me of like, these are the genderful possibilities. And I think that the Clowder is a really, really compassionate space, which is vital on the internet, which can be, let's say, volatile at times. So having a place that is nurturing and wholesome and full of a huge variety of queer identities is so, so important. And I think it's an amazing thing that you've built.
Well, we have collectively built it. I started it, but there's a lot of us that are carrying the torch. I honestly don't think I would be able to keep doing all the things we do by myself. In fact, I know that I can't, because I've tried. So it does take the collective to keep the projects and the community going. And thankfully, people are passionate about the community and care about it. And thank you, Elle, for being a part of that. It's really a beautiful thing to behold that other people care about this community and these spaces that we maintain as much as I do. Elle, my final question for you today, could you share your gratitude for our patrons in your own words? Anything that you want the folks contributing either via Patreon or Twitch subscriptions or Ko-Fi shop purchases or what have you?
Um, well, main thing is any little bit helps, and uh, any little bit is appreciated. I think that's kind of the magic of community engagements. You know, it might seem like a simple thing, but there really is something spectacular about assembling a group of people, each of whom contribute a little bit of what they can, and then together make something huge and wonderful happen. And I think that Meowster's Clowder has some really great ambitions, and I've already seen awesome stuff be completed by again forming this community. So I would love to see more of that, and I'm amazed by everything that's happened so far, and I'm incredibly thankful to everybody who makes even the tiniest part of that happen.
Me too. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Folks, if you'd like to learn more about Hexagonelle, please check out twitch.tv/ at HEXAGONELLE. That's Hexagon L. What'd y'all think about this post? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you next month.